Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today I will be discussing moral rights to healthcare. Welcome, Board of Directors. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Heather Kenyon. I am the Compliance Officer. I would like to discuss moral rights to healthcare and what the hospital can do to ensure these rights are being followed. In this presentation, I will talk about what rights the hospital has when caring for patients and their families and what the patient's rights are for their health care. So let's begin. What is a moral right to healthcare? A right to basic healthcare means that the government is morally obligated to do all within its means to ensure that medically necessary care is acceptable and affordable to all. It does not obligate the government or physicians to provide free cosmetic or elective surgeries. The four main elements to moral rights to healthcare are code of ethics, quality of care, Stark law, and medical malpractice. I will explain what each of these are in the next few slides. Let's begin with code of ethics. The American Medical Association, AMA, first code of ethics was established in 1847. Defined uniform standards for professional education, training, and conduct, as well as established that a physician's main purpose was to obey the call of the sick and putting patients' needs first. Purpose of the Code of Ethics is to hold all healthcare professionals to a higher standard and to hold them accountable for their actions. Next is quality of care. Patients should receive best possible healthcare available every time services are needed. Healthcare providers should provide care that meets the needs of each individual patient, including the use of appropriate advances in medical technology. Healthcare should also be non-discriminatory, providing the same quality of services regardless of race, ethnicity, age, sex, or health status. Next we have Stark Law. Stark Law is a set of United States federal laws that prohibit physicians' self-referral, specifically a referral by a physician of a Medicare or Medicaid patient to an entity for the provision of designated health services, or DHS, if the physician or an immediate family member has a financial relationship with that entity. Stark Law was created to stop unnecessary testing and treatment, as well as an added risk for patients. Last we have is medical malpractice. The premise of medical malpractice action is, and I quote, a doctor's failure to exercise the degree of care and skill that a physician and surgeon of the same medical specialty would use under special circumstances, unquote. This was from the AMA Journal of Ethics. The modern medical malpractice system comes off as unjust. The mere perception of injustice and the danger of liability have fueled physicians' paranoia and distracted physicians from the goal of providing the best and safest care to patients. Because of the fear most physicians have with a lawsuit, providers now practice what's called defensive medicine. Defensive medicine is supplemental care such as additional testing or treatment, replacement care such as referral or other physicians, and reduced care, including referrals to treat particular patients. This is to ensure that if a patient later sues the provider, can say they have gone above and beyond what was required. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time, and let me know if you have any questions. Here are my references. And again, thank you for your time.